There used to be a crosswalk at Sonia crossing over Campbell Station, and it was marked with big yellow signs and lights. Prior to construction, they took it down. That used to be the way I could find how to turn onto Sonia once construction started, but they took all those down with construction and they haven't put them back up. So there is a student crosswalk. If they would put all those signs, the big yellow signs and the flashing lights back up.
Well, personally, I think we ought to go with the island right now because we know we can do that and we can do it quickly, and that will be a partial solution at least. And then we do the study anyway, as well as the other spots.
I would agree. That sounds like a sound approach, and I think it works with what we have to work with. We can't design it any other way, and I think this is the a less invasive way to take a look at solving the problem, and we can then monitor it and see how it works over the course of a period of time.
Well, I appreciate the impassioned and articulate arguments on both sides of this. The folks from Sanja Drive and Principal Reynolds from Farragut High School. I do think that in order to get an accurate picture of this, we do need to conduct a warrant with the road functioning as it currently is, and so I would. I think there's a lot at stake here, and I'm certainly not asking that we conduct an experiment that would risk the lives of students. But I also feel that that area is, because there are school zone lights that slow the traffic there, I think that high school access road has functioned fairly well for a number of years in its present configuration. I'm not aware of there having been any serious accidents or accidents at all there. Are there any? Can anyone speak to that?
It's also never been 5 lanes there.
Well, I would like to propose, Principal Reynolds, that in the interest of doing what's best for the school and for the students, that we open that road for, say, 30 days, just long enough to establish the traffic patterns there that existed before, get a warrant done if we could open it for January, and just and maybe just a week or two prior to the conducting of the warrant, the study, just long enough to get an accurate picture of what's going on there, and then close it back off until we can digest those findings, because I think it would be probably not in the best interest of the town to just jump out there and do something kind of a stopgap thing. And you've admitted that you don't feel that the left turn island is necessarily the best solution. It's just it's better than nothing, as you said. So would you consider opening it just for a brief period there? I don't.
You're asking me on 30 days.
Well, I can certainly appreciate that. I don't think you'll have an accurate picture of how traffic's wanting to flow there if you eliminate that left turn lane. Well, after you've eliminated the left turn possibility, then I think the study probably would show that there aren't any left turns. But that's not necessarily, just because you forced them a different way doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best way for traffic to flow. And you will never know unless you do that study.
Microphone.
Well, while she is coming up, can I point out that it has actually operated pretty well with the driveway closed for a year and a half? Just an observation.
So we could say then, based on that, that, gee, we don't really need a driveway there at all. But I don't think that's necessarily an accurate reflection of what would give us the best possible traffic flows through the school.
Hi, my name is Lydia Donahue, and I have a 15-year-old son who's starting to drive. And what Mayor McGill pointed out was that they're crossing now many lanes of traffic. So to have them come out and try to make a left through there, I would agree with the principal that opening it for 30 days would be, I wouldn't want to be the person standing next to that mother explaining why their child was in an accident. So I agree with him that a 30-day study, I don't care if it's a 2-day study, I don't care if it's a 1-day study, all you need is one accident to happen, and somebody has to answer to those parents, as that was a study that was happening, and the child, hey, I can get out there, I'm a 17-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, I'll try to go through that traffic. So I appreciate that you're watching out for the kids and keeping that closed until it is safe for them. The second comment you had made was that if the island is put in and then we try to do a study, we wouldn't give an accurate picture, and it's kind of forcing our hand. But then again, is it really forcing the hand, or is that really the way it should go then? Because you can't do a study because it's going to endanger kids, but you can put an island to change the flow of traffic and keep everybody safe and take care of everything, because there are other entrances and exits out of there. Maybe that is the solution, and there is no study that needs to be done, because it's keeping everybody safe, it's taking care of the traffic, and people can get out where they have to go.
But still not addressing the crosswalk issue, and I've put 4 kids through Farragut High School, and I've driven that area frequently, and I know that there's kids straggling across Campbell Station Road there trying to get across to the school, and a traffic light could obviously assist in that traffic. And here again, we'll never know if a traffic light, I feel innately that a traffic light would probably benefit the overall flow of traffic through a very congested and difficult area. We've got 3 schools servicing out of those 3 roads. It's not just the high school, it's the middle school and intermediate school. And it's a zoo up there. And I think anything that would mitigate that, and particularly looking down the road long haul, is probably going to be beneficial. I'd love to have a warrant done on it, but I think I would probably be in favor of a traffic light over an island. Yeah, it'll work, and it'll force people to go a different way, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best solution.
Well, that's just my opinion. I don't know how you do a warrant without putting people at risk if you're opening it without something else and then putting people at risk. So that's the hard part.
Yeah. I think that's an excellent suggestion.
Daryl, that's a great idea. How would that impact obtaining data, do you think? Would it be important or unimportant?
If you had crossing guards there, you would certainly obtain better data than if you have an island in the way.
Yeah.
Because an island there, doing a warrant analysis with an island in the way, that is definitely going to affect the traffic patterns that would be generated with an open road.
The only problem I can see with that is it probably doesn't address Mr. Reynolds' concern at the highest risk times of day. The highest risk times of day are going to be when those flashing school zone signal lights are not in operation. And there's not going to be a traffic patrolman there to direct people in and out of there when they're attempting to make the left turn against traffic doing 45 miles an hour. I mean, if the issue is really the risk to young drivers, unfortunately, that may allow better statistics, but doesn't completely address the safety question. I mean, my own view, and this is my personal view, is we have traffic issues up and down Campbell Station Road. We had them before this project, and now we have them after the project, and now we've perhaps added to them unintentionally with this issue. I would like the whole road studied collectively from Kingston Pike to the interstate to get the statistics at these critical intersections, to see what the data show, and then let expert traffic flow engineers design the best signalization of that segment of the road. I am not prepared to vote for the arbitrary installation of signalization of any of those intersections in the absence of any kind of data telling us what's going on. And my personal feeling is, and others may disagree, if we install the island now, we should forego any traffic counts at that intersection because it becomes irrelevant.
Suggesting that it's irrelevant because nobody can have an accident by turning right?
No, I'm not.
I'd like to submit observation that if you do traffic studies with the island in there, any competent traffic engineer with that small limited data or data and database information can adequately estimate what that traffic would be without the island in there. In other words, put the island in and then do your studies also.